Viggo Mortensen, questo è il suo secondo film, un western con protagonista una donna. È pur vero che non ci sono molte donne come figure centrali in un western. Come mai ha scelto di raccontare questa storia in questa maniera?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, yes, have been obviously lots of female characters, but not normally the main character. It's not usually played by women. There are some examples where Barbara Stanwyck in 40 Guns, or also in The Furies, another movie, Claudia Cardinale in Sergio Leone's movie. There are examples, but usually these women are extraordinary women. They are either incredibly beautiful and usually also rich economically, or like in Barbara Stanwyck's case, they own big ranches, they are powerful, they are unusual women. In our story, we have a woman who is in most ways ordinary. There must have been many, many Viviennes at that time. It's just that people were not interested in telling their stories, novelists, journalists. And then filmmakers, since the beginning of the Western genre, have not been very interested in telling the story of women, really, that much either. There are some exceptions. So I was just curious about this. What happens to women? What do they do? Especially when their fathers or their sons or their brothers or husbands, whether it's a little girl like Vivienne when her father goes away to war, or as an adult when her partner goes away to war, what do they do? How do they feel about it, and how do they survive? I was interested in seeing that, so that's why I told the story this way. But everything else about the movie was meant to look and sound and feel like a traditional classic Western.
This is it? The place you chose of all the places you have seen. No flowers, no garden at all. You live like a dog.
A happy dog. You have to tell me where you want me to plant your trees.
You're still a dog.
Quando ha deciso che è arrivato il momento di passare dietro la macchina da presa, diventare regista, e perché?
Well, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I mean, from the beginning, I've always been curious about the collective effort of telling a story. As an actor, from the beginning, I always was on the set. Even when I wasn't working, I was curious how the different departments collaborate. How do you take a screenplay, something written on paper? How does this become what you see in the cinema? It's a very complicated journey, It's a difficult journey, and you can do it well or you can do it badly. You can communicate and prepare really well with your team, or not, So I have had the opportunity through many decades of watching really talented men and women who, guiding teams, and so I've learned from them. Even though I started very late, much later than I wanted to, maybe this was a good thing because I learned from them and I made less mistakes and I prepared better than I would have maybe 20, 30 years ago.
Senta, lei ha interpretato tantissimi ruoli bellissimi, tra l'altro, nella sua carriera. Vorrei citare i film con David Cronenberg, poi un paio di film con Philip Ridley, per non dire Aragon, Il Signore degli Anelli. Come sceglie il ruolo, come sceglie il ruolo per Viggo Mortensen?
Well, you have to be lucky also. People think sometimes if you're an actor who's becoming well known, well, they can do whatever they want. Why don't they choose better? In reality, you can only say yes if you are invited. But you can say no. That's your power, saying no. So I say no, I can say no. And as long as I can afford it economically, I have always tried to say no until something comes that I think is challenging, that I will learn something from.